with Gentry. We've got the green flag. We've got racing. That's Lucky Strike on the inside. Gentry's Turbo Eagle on the inside. Don Johnson's Teams USA in the middle. And on the far outside, it's Little Caesar's Pizza. And coming into the pack, I believe that's Ricci going by on the very far outside. Now there's Fabio Bucci's Ricci boat coming by on the extreme inside. And then there's Lucky Strike, then there's Gentry, then there's Team USA, then there's Little Caesar's Pizza. An excellent start for the Superboat class right here. Now we've circled around and we're going to pick up the open start. In the picture we've got Black Thunder, Hawk Marine is there, Melons, Dollar Marine Special, Recovery, Chairman of the Board, Warrior. I see Black Thunder, and then Hawk and Melons are right there. Hawk slightly ahead, Melons in the middle of the picture. Dollar Marine Special is right there. That's Recovery on the inside, and Hawk Marine Special on the inside with a slight lead. Chairman of the Board going by on the far outside. There's Nuri Sabuchi's Chairman of the Board taking a quick lead. So you've got Chairman of the Board, Recovery, Hawk Marine Special right in your picture, and Dollar Marine Special bringing up the rear in this lead group of boats. Just as they were dueling in Wednesday's race, Stuart Haim along with Ugo Colombo in the Hawk Marine Special are once again going at it head-to-head. This is how they ended on Wednesday, and it certainly is interesting that they're beginning the same way for today's final race. They're going back and forth. And Nuri Sabuchi's Chairman of the Board is taking a lead. Stuart Haim is taking off after him, but Hawk Marine Special is hanging tough. Good bit of racing right here. Right there in your picture, it's Hawk Marine Power. This is a 35-foot all-red Jaguar powered by two 800-horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc SSM-V outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Ugo Colombo of Miami, Florida, and Mende Fernandez is on throttles. And Eddie Armande is your crew chief. And that's Dollar Marine Special on the far outside coming into the ruckus right now. Dollar Marine Special charging hard, challenging Hawk Marine Special and Stuart Haim aboard Recovery. And there's your picture. That's Team USA down in the water. Don Johnson has a problem, and he is already down in the water. Tough break for him. He's out of the race. But on the far outside, that's Dollar Marine Special overtaking Recovery in the middle of your picture, headed up by Stuart Haim, and it's Ugo Colombo with Mende Fernandez aboard in Hawk Marine Power. Dollar Marine Special's motors by Richie Zool are really doing the job right now. He has come from the back, and he's in the hunt right now with Recovery and Hawk Marine Power, and he is gradually taking a slight lead, and he's trying to catch up to Chairman of the Board with Nuri Sabuchi aboard. And here they are rounding the checkpoint, heading toward the next leg of the race course. Ugo Colombo's Hawk Marine Special, Dollar Marine Special is right there, and Stuart Haim's Recovery is in the prey right now. As you can see, it is very rough. We have a rough leg in the race course, and these drivers are really experiencing some rough sea conditions right now, but nonetheless, they are making very good time. Hawk Marine Power had a second place finish on Wednesday's race, so a good finish here will certainly be advantageous to him. And on the far outside, it's Dollar Marine Special. Dollar Marine Special had a third place finish on Wednesday, so these two boats are running neck and neck in the points battle. And Dollar Marine Special has taking a slight lead over Hawk Marine Special. And that's Melons on the very far outside, and Warrior has joined this group of boats. We've got some excellent racing right now in this open class. I've got Warrior in the picture, Melon on the far outside, Hawk Marine Special on the inside. Dollar Marine Special is taking a slight lead. Recovery is out there with Dollar Marine Special, and Chairman of the Board is ahead of the whole group. Warrior and Melons raging a battle right now. They're going neck and neck. But Dollar Marine Special has been able to take a slight lead over those boats. So you can see it's very rough. And looking back on the field, that's Melons on the outside, Warrior in the middle, engaged in an excellent battle. And then we have a close-up of Dollar Marine Special with Recovery slightly ahead of them. That's Chairman of the Board. Dollar Marine Special has caught up to Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board, and they're locked in a fierce battle. Neck and neck right now. Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board on the outside, Dollar Marine Special on the inside. They've come neck and neck right now. What a great performance by Jack and Scott Herrick aboard the Dollar Marine Special. This is a 41-foot Apache powered by two Richie Zool racing motors. This boat is owned by Jack and Scott Herrick of New York and Washington. Jack is on driving, Phil Lipschitz is on throttle, Scott Herrick is your navigator. Raina Herrick and Richie Zool make up the crew members of the Dollar Marine Special. And there you get an idea of the lead that he has taken, and that's Warriors coming into the fracas also. Phil Lipschitz doing an excellent job on throttles, and these motors by Richie Zool are performing very well for Dollar Marine Special. That's Warriors on the outside. And right there, that's Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board running neck and neck with the Melons race team. Excellent racing. We've been going for miles now, and we have a great group of boats right now locked in a very fierce competitive battle in the open seas off Key West. Dollar Marine Special. This 41 Apache has one of the nicest paint jobs we've seen in a long time. Very innovative and a very sleek looking boat. This paint job is done by Trick Paint in Miami, Florida. The Herricks and Lipschitz in the Dollar Marine Special last raced in Trinidad in 12-foot seas to win the great race. After winning the race, the Herricks donated the $15,000 prize money back to the government of Trinidad to go to the homeless people of Trinidad. While in Trinidad, the Herricks became friends with Brian Bowen of Trinidad. Brian has raced for 20 years in the Caribbean, building almost all the boats in the race, repairing many of the boats, and organizing so many of the races besides competing every year. Brian also has raced to strong finishes many times in the world in Key West. And right there you get an idea of some of the distance between himself and some of the other boats. That's an excellent shot of these racing machines coming up the race course. That's Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board. Melons is in there and Warrior in the middle of that group. What a great shot that was. The Herricks and Bowen were to race in the Dollar Special in Key West together. Tragically, Brian was killed in Trinidad 2 days before he was to be in Key West. The Dollar Marine Special is dedicating this race to Brian Bowen. The whole team will deeply miss him. And there you see the Dollar Marine Special coming around, heading past the beach toward Mallory Square. They're unofficially in first place overall right now, and this boat is charging very hard right now. The Dollar Marine Special. And coming up behind him, heading into Mallory Square, is Chairman of the Board. Neck and neck, these fans are being treated to some excellent racing. These motors by Zool are putting out a lot of power, as well as the Lamborghinis of Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board. And he's caught up. Nuri is going by. Those Lamborghinis are flying. They're putting out so much power right now that Nuri has put this boat right down to business. He's gone by the Herrickson Dollar Marine Special, and he is taking off, leaving the Dollar Marine Special in his wake. What a run that was by Nuri Sabucci through Mallory Square. Those fans were treated to a great bit of racing. The Dollar Marine Special and Nuri Sabucci's chairman of the board. And right there you got an idea of just how fast those deep V's go in the calm. Where it's calm in Mallory Square, Sabucci came through and went by Dollar Marine Special. But out in the rough seas, the deep V does very well, as the Dollar Marine Special did in the rough seas. But on the calm, it's the cats, roughs, it's the deep V. And you saw a perfect illustration of those conditions right there. Because right now, chairman of the board is flying. Listen to those Lamborghini motors. This is Nuri Sabucci in his 38-foot Cougar Cat, powered by twin 750 horsepower Lamborghini motors with Keykefer drives. This boat is owned by Chairman Racing Corp of Rochester, New York. Nuri Sabucci is your driver, and Harold Stepp from Miami, Florida is on throttles, the chairman of the board racing team, and right now he is on fire. He is definitely dominating right now, and he is running very aggressively. Nuri took a fourth on Wednesday, and with a good finish here today, he could be your overall champion for this week of racing in Key West. Nuri Sabucci's chairman of the board, lighting it up right now. Lamborghini power, just listen to it. Stepp doing an excellent job of throttling these Lamborghinis. Chairman of the board continuing to run very strong right now. Sabucci and Stepp really have this boat dialed in for today's race. He's certainly going to be tough to catch today. Nuri is going all out. On the far outside, that's Mellons. Oh, what a jump that was. Almost looked like he was going to go over. Very tough jump right there. But they are able to hang tough and hang right in there. Mellons having a tough bounce right there, but nonetheless back on course. And now we're coming up on Warrior. Warrior is in a duel with chairman of the board. Nuri looked tough to catch, but Warrior is also running very strong, and he got off to an excellent start, and he's running with Hawk Marine Power, who we saw at the start, and Mellons, who is on the outside. This boat is Warrior D25. It's a 41-foot Apache powered by two 740 horsepower United Racing motors with Mercury drives. This boat is owned by Philip Di Pasquale of Miami, Florida. Orlando Gomez is your driver. Rolando Piega is on throttles, and Jorge Diaz is your navigator. Crew chief Brad Halpin, all from Miami. And everyone would like to extend a very special thanks to Philip Di Pasquale for making this all happen, the Warrior race team. They had a 5th place finish on Wednesday. So with a top finish here today, with the points being doubled, that could certainly put Warrior in a very advantageous place to finish in the Pro Open class here today. Philip Di Pasquale's Warrior race team. Rolando Piega is doing an excellent job on the throttles, and these United Racing motors are responding quite nicely. The Warrior race team having a great run here today at the Bud Light Battle on the Seas in Key West, Florida. Warrior coming into Mallory Square, where the boat drivers get an opportunity to let it all hang out. They certainly enjoy having the fans view them here, and it's certainly a rush for the fans and the drivers. Warrior putting on a show as it heads to Mallory Square. That's Mellons coming up behind Warrior and heading into Mallory Square also. Warrior, Hawk Marine Power, and Mellons, along with Recovery, are locked in a very fierce battle in the open class today. Mellons coming through the Mallory Square part of the race course. These boats really get to go. He's on his way through and out, heading back out towards the open race course. Mellons race team. Mellons race team. This is a familiar name on a different hull that we're accustomed to seeing. We'll explain that in a minute. But the boat right now, Mellons, is an all white, sleek, cigarette race hull powered by twin Mercury 800 horsepower inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Ugo Colombo. Driving today is Ed Shear, John Tomlinson is on throttles, and Robert Gallen is the navigator. We're more accustomed to seeing the black catamaran known as Melons, but due to some difficulties Ed Shear had at the beginning of the week, he was not able to run his boat, and he was forced to lease this boat from Ugo Colombo to be in today's race under the banner of Melons. Ugo Colombo also is the owner of Hawk Marine Power that he's running today with Mandy Fernandez as his throttle man. So Ugo is a busy man this week here in Key West. But right now, Ed Shear is doing a great job with this Melons race boat. It's not the boat that they're accustomed to running, but nonetheless, they are doing a very good job here today. Melons is in a tight battle with Ugo Colombo's Hawk Marine Power and Recovery at this present point in time. Melons was unable to start on Wednesday's leg, so he is in a tough position right now, but being the sportsman and competitor that he is, he'd like to have a very good run here today just to show what he's all about. Ed Shear's Melons race team, a great champion and a good driver. Ed Shear, being the true champion that he is, has certainly had a busy week here. He's been driving the Assault team in the semi-pro class. He ran Wednesday morning and he ran here today in the Assault race team, and now he's aboard his own boat, Melons. So Ed has been a very busy competitor here this whole week, and he's doing a great job. Ed Shear's Melons race team having a very fine run here today as he's locked in a battle with Hawk Marine Power and the Recovery race team. From Key West, Florida, it's Ed Shear's Melons race team. Ed Shear continuing to have a very good run in Melons. And that's Warrior on the inside in the middle of the course. So Warrior and Melons are locked in a very tight battle right now. That's Orlando Gomez and Rolando Piega and Jorge Diaz in the Warrior race boat. And that's Melons and Warrior going head to head. That's hot. One of the smaller boats, hot. Hot is in the UIM2 group, so it's a different group altogether. But right now the story is between Warrior and Melons. Warrior would like to have a great finish here today. First or second place finish for them would really put them in good shape for the overall championship in the Pro Open class. Now we come up on Hawk Marine Special. They're also in the thick of things right now. Hawk Marine Special is dueling with Warrior and Melons, who we just saw earlier on. And that's hot, who some of the other boats have passed already. Different classes, so certainly not a problem. Boat number 26, Hawk Marine Power. This is a 35-foot Jaguar powered by two 800-horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc Cruiser SSM V drives. This boat is owned and driven by Hugo Colombo of Miami, Florida, and Mandy Fernandez from Miami, Florida is also on throttles. Great team right here of Colombo and Fernandez. And Eddie Armani is your crew chief for Hawk Marine Power. Hawk Marine Power had a second place finish on Wednesday, so with a really good performance here today, they could be a champion in this class, which would be a great accomplishment for Fernandez and Colombo. Mandy Fernandez has so many years of racing experience behind him. He's one of the best throttle men in the business, and he's doing a great job here today. Hawk Marine Power. They were locked in a very fierce battle with Recovery earlier on Wednesday. Who could forget that battle that they waged? Recovery is a little off the pace here today, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. There's still plenty of racing. But Hawk Marine Power is dueling with Warrior and Melons. And Nuri Sabuchi is basically the story right now. He is going to be tough to catch. That boat was running very strong, as you saw earlier on, and it continues to do so. So Nuri unofficially in first place. Warrior, Hawk Marine Power, and Melons are all in a very fierce battle for the other positions in the Pro Open class. And Dollar Marine Special is also in that pack of boats. So we've got some great racing in the Pro Open class. Hugo Colombo's and Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. And now we come up on boat number 98, KC Aerospace. They had a third place finish on Wednesday, so they're really looking to do well here today also. This is a 39-foot express race hull powered by two 750 horsepower CNG marine inboards with Merc Cruiser number 4 drives. This boat is owned and driven by Dan Campbell of Kansas City, Missouri. Paul Churchill is his navigator, and on throttles we've got Randy Garcia. They would like to extend a very special thanks to CNG Marine and KNC Aerospace. KNC Aerospace is an FAA overhaul facility for commercial aircraft, and they do an excellent job. And Dan Campbell would like to extend a very special thanks to them for all that they've done to help out the KC Aerospace race team. Right now they're in a battle with some of the lead boats. Lucky Strike, Ricci are all in there. In Excess, Gentry Turbo Eagle having a very good run, as well as In Excess right now. And Ricci is a little down in power, but he is still running very well. KC Aerospace looking very good right now. Already out of the race is Team USA, Jaguar Marine, and Fountain. Tough break for Don Johnson. Very disappointing weekend for him here in Key West, but he is out of the race. Little Caesars Pizza has also dropped out of the race. So we're basically down to 5 boats in the super boat class in the Pro Division. So it's really up for grabs, and it's anyone's race. KC Aerospace looking very good right now. Third place finish Wednesday, so they'd love nothing more than to improve upon that in today's race. From Key West, Florida, it's Dan Campbell's KC Aerospace. KC Aerospace having a good run. And now we come up on boat number 45, the Lucky Strike race team. This is a 47-foot deep V Apache race hull powered by three 825 horsepower Chevrolet inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Phil Mashinsky from Watchung, New Jersey. Bud Millinghausen is your navigator from Ship Bottom, New Jersey. Jeff Millinghausen is on throttles from Mount Holly, New Jersey. And the riding crew member is Todd Owens, who is basically one of the fastest attorneys in offshore powerboat racing today. Todd Owen really enjoying the run here today in the Lucky Strike race team. Lucky Strike had a disappointing 7th place finish on Wednesday, but a good finish here today would put him in a good position for maybe some of the top positions in the superboat class today. Mashinsky knows what it's all about. He had a relatively good campaign this year, and they'd like to close out with a very good run here today for Lucky Strike. However, the competition is very tough. Gentry's Turbo Eagle enjoying a very good run. In Excess is right there. Fabio Buzzi's Ricci boat is looking well, and Lucky Strike is dueling right now with KC's Aerospace, who we just saw earlier on. From Key West, Florida, it's Phil Mashinsky's Lucky Strike race team. And once again, Lucky Strike passing through Mallory Square. Really putting it down. It's dead calm. They get to go all out with everything that they've got. There's no holding back when you come through that calm water and the straight conditions that Mallory Square provides. And the fans really get a charge as the Lucky Strike race team waves to its many fans lining the piers and docks of Key West, Florida in Mallory Square. The Lucky Strike race team. Nice shot of In Excess as it goes under Paul Barth from Biscayne Helicopter. Getting into view for Jeff Girardi, our head cameraman. Boat number 96, In Excess. This sleek 47-foot multicolored Apache race hull is powered by three 850 horsepower C&G Marine inboards with Key Keffer outdrives. This boat is owned by John Garrett from Wayne, Pennsylvania, who is also doing the driving. Navigating, we have Bob Shaddett, and on throttles, it's Ralph Martin, the In Excess race team. In Excess had a 4th place finish in Wednesday's first leg of the race, and right now they're running very strong with Gentry's Turbo Eagles and Fabio Buzzi's Ricci Racing. So with a good finish here today, they will definitely be in the top 3 finishes, which would be a great accomplishment for John Garrett's In Excess race team. Right now they're looking very strong, running very consistent in the superboat class here today. John Garrett's In Excess race team looking very good. They're looking very strong right now. This boat is sounding better and better. These C&G Marine inboards are really doing the job, and Ralph Martin on throttles is really putting it through the paces right now. They're trying to catch up to Tom Gentry and Charlie Marks, Gentry's Turbo Eagle, but they are holding off Fabio Buzzi's Richie, and they are ahead of Lucky Strike and KC Aerospace, who we've already seen. From Key West, Florida, having a very good run, it's John Garrett's In Excess race team. As you can see, In Excess, being an Apache deep V bottom, is running very well in this rough water, because that's what this boat was basically designed to do. Be a strong running boat in rough seas, and they're certainly doing it right now. The In Excess race team. That's Stuart Hames' recovery with John DeLea on board on throttles today. Now we're coming up to boat number 10, Fabio Buzzi's Richie. There's a 50-foot FB design race hull powered by 4 760 horsepower C-Tech racing inboards with Fabio Buzzi design drive systems. And there you see a crack on the port side of that boat, right at the bend there on the side. That could be a problem for them. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, but he has a crack right there. You can see it in the hull of that boat. There's a close-up look of that. That is some of the punishment and pain that these race hulls take in the open seas of racing. And this boat is certainly wounded right now, and they might have to realize this and certainly come off speed a little bit. Fabio Buzzi is your owner and driver of this boat from Como, Italy. And Ari Nitina is on throttles from Argentina. There's a close-up look of that crack in that race hull. That is certainly a problem for them. Let's hope that that boat does not sink, because with a crack like that, it is certainly an open hole for water to come right on in. So I'll have to hope for the best there. Fabio Buzzi, certainly a world-renowned figure in the sport of offshore powerboat racing. He's done so much for the sport of offshore powerboat racing throughout the world. He is a celebrity all over Europe in this sport, and whenever he comes here to the United States, he has so many fans. Fabio Buzzi's Richie race team. He's certainly an innovator in this sport. And as you can see, they are coming off plane. Tough break for Fabio Buzzi's. And that's KC Aerospace, who has had a problem. That boat is partially underwater, as you can see. It's mostly underwater. The crew members are hanging out on the bow of the boat right now. Rescue copters and medical crews are already there. Very quick response. Everyone is okay. We have no injuries there, so that is very fortunate for KC Aerospace. They are out of the race, but they are safe and sound. Now we come up on a very interesting looking boat. The boat known as Superhero. M23 Superhero. It's a 38 offshore marine powered by twin 650 horsepower C-Tech motors with Fabio Buzzi drive systems. Superhero had a first place on Wednesday's race, and they're looking very good right now. They're running in first place, holding off Phoenix in the UIM2 class. This boat is owned by Yoshiro Kitami from Honolulu, Hawaii, who also does the driving. Brett Archer is on throttles, and your navigator is Mark Russell. Crew members: Brett Archer, Mark Russell, Stephen Carr, Jim Montner, and Craig Poole help out on the maintenance of the throttles. Superhero is running the boat that won the 1989 UIM2 World Championship in Atlantic City this past year. It was manufactured by Offshore Marine in Italy and uses Fabio Buzzi drive systems. Superhero is the only American flag boat using diesel engines. It is a production boat available from Superhero Boat Manufacturing in Honolulu, Hawaii. It's certainly a very interesting boat, and it had a very successful run in Atlantic City. Anything that's associated with Fabio Buzzi has some of the most innovative technological inventions available to all boats. So with that Fabio Buzzi drive system, this wing that it has to help it aerodynamically run through the water, and a strong sounding motor, Yoshiro Kitami is certainly going to be tough to beat. It ran well in Atlantic City, and it's running just as well down here today. As we said earlier on, he had a first place on Wednesday. He's presently in first place today, so if things hold out the way they are, Superhero will be your champ in the pro division of the UIM2 class. From Key West, Florida, there you get a good look of Kitami, Archer, and Russell making up the Superhero race team. There's a real close-up look of that crew. There they are, the Superhero race team. Yoshiro Kitami, your driver. On throttles, it's Brett Archer. There they are. And your navigator, Mark Russell. There's a real good look. And there he is, Yoshiro Kitami in the middle, doing a great job driving. Archer on throttles, Russell your navigator. A great look right there, the Superhero race team, and they are superheroes. This crew and boat is doing a phenomenal job here today in Key West. A real good race crew and boat, the Superhero race team. Certainly a tough break for Stuart Hamm and J.D. D'Elia today. Recovery is not going to recover from this one, it looks like, and they're not going to have a good finish today. Tough break for them, but they'll be back next year. You can count on it. Stuart Hamm, a fierce competitor, and I'm sure we'll be seeing J.D. D'Elia with his dad, John D'Elia Sr., in the Special Edition race team in the 1990 campaign coming up soon. Now we come up on boat number 90. This is straight man Kieran Beer. This is a 42-foot Arasaki Shipyard Limited. It is powered by two 750 horsepower Haron inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Shigeru Hojo of Yokosuka City, Kanagawa. He is also your driver. On navigating, we've got Steve Thomas from Bricktown, New Jersey, and on throttles, we've got Kurt Berger from Bricktown, New Jersey also, and of Kurtz Marine fame. This boat is out of Kurtz Marine, was also responsible for Second to None, who was your A-Class World Champ, Shockwave Alliance, second in the Northeast, Finish Line, second in the Northeast, Team Hydra is a Northeastern National Champ, Lucky Strike, and Wheels of Fortune. All high-performance race boats coming out of the Kurtz Marine Boatyard, who's done a fine job in maintaining and rigging so many high-performance race boats, and this is another one that is added to his stable of winners. It's strength man Kieran Beer, headed up by Shigeru Hojo. They had a 6th place finish on Wednesday, so obviously they need to do much better than that, have one of the top 3 finishes today to hopefully put them in a good position in the Pro Open class here today. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because right now they are not running with the lead pack. They're running with Recovery right now, who you saw was down on power. But this class is still being taken on by Chairman of the Board, Warrior, Hawk Marine Power are still in it, along with Mellons. The attrition rate is high. Little Caesars Pizza's out. Team USA. Tusty and Black Thunder is out, along with Dollar Marine Special. And on the inside, that's Phoenix with Kieran on the outside. So Kieran on the outside going by Phoenix. Phoenix is locked in a duel with Superhero, who we saw earlier on. They were running very strong, so Phoenix has its work cut out for them. Team Down Undies, Terminator, American Dream are all out of it. The Agitator has fallen off the pack. Hot is falling off the pack. So the attrition is very high right now. There's many openings for some of the boats who are drawing to a close right now with a strong finish. So a lot of things are still open and up for grabs. And we are going to be charging for the final leg through Mallory Square and our start-finish line. But right here is the boat M6 Phoenix. It's a 32-foot superboat powered by 4 225 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Ed Ryan of Bayshore, New York, who is doing the throttles, and Richie Bonanno of New York, New York is your driver today. This boat is maintained by East Coast Marine in the New York area. M6 Phoenix Race Team. He had a 4th place finish on Wednesday, so a good finish here today could put Phoenix in a good final position to finish out this week of racing. Plus, so many other boats are already out of the UIM2 class that just by finishing in a good position could put someone in the top 3 finishers here today. Phoenix and Kieran are dueling right now. However, Kieran is in your open class, Phoenix in his UIM2. Here you get an up-close look at that cockpit of Ed Ryan and Richie Bonanno doing the job that they have to do in piloting this boat. Now we're going to finish up with Kieran Beer. He's coming to Mallory Square. Kurt Berger's got that throttle all the way down, and they're going to finish out as best they can. Kieran Beer coming in for his final pass through the Mallory Square spectator area. We've had some great racing. It's very close. We're compiling the results now, and soon we'll have our final results. Karen Beer with a thumbs up sign.